There you go. So yeah, hi. Welcome Behind the Hype. Your host is always Brian Dressel. With me as always, Chewy Darso.
Hello.
And Jonathan Hardesty.
Hey, I'm here. I made it. I survived.
Hooray! We all survived another week and watched another Scarlett Johansson movie. This is not what I thought would have been the best so far, but then here we are. It's been a weird month of Scarlett Johansson movies so far, but yeah, my system's kind of blown up in my face a little bit, but I did enjoy this one, so we're doing a little better.
Yeah.
Especially because I did not expect to enjoy it. Even when I pitched it, I'm like, damn it. I guess I'll have to watch that again. But I did enjoy it a lot more the second time, so that's good.
Well, the big difference is one movie that we watched was a little too heady for its own, good.
Mm-hmm.
Not even really heady. It limited itself too much.
It was restrained.
It was so restrained. And then the other movie just didn't really know what it was.
Nope.
This one knew what it is.
Oh, yeah. This one very much knew what it was. But we'll get into that in a minute. Have we had anything to report for Where Have They Been Doing?
No, not really.
I watched the first half hour of the Avengers the other night, and I'm like, all right, this kind of works because this is really, it's a lot of Scarlett Johansson in the beginning. She's kind of all over the front of it, like the whole Hulk scene, and she's like the one who Nick Fury sends out to go get stuff. So I kind of watched part of her in it.
Oh, yeah. I guess I could count that, too. I watched all the ones that she's in, so.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I still don't like what they did with Black Widow in the beginning of the Avengers. I've never been a fan of it.
Well, they hint at her being a romantic interest, immediately.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. It's more so that she's afraid of the Hulk. It never felt character-wise like it worked for me.
Yeah,
it still
kind of weird.
Even watching it now, I'm like, she's doing the best she can with it. The way they've written her character throughout Iron Man 2 and the beginning of Avengers, I'm like, I just don't see her being like, this legitimately scares me. More like she's ready to fight him, but she's has a tear in her eye when she's backing away from him. She's afraid. So it just never fully worked for me. Still didn't this time. I still think she does a good job with what they gave her, though.
Yeah.
Then it's time to dive all the way into Lucy.
Sure, let's do it.
Let's
dive right in there. Just dig right in there and put a bunch of drugs in it.
Just straight to 100%. Ah, boy. Chewy, do you want to do a breakdown for this one?
Sure. Party girl in Chinese city, and she has this boyfriend that, for some reason, I don't know, really wants her to deliver this thing for him because he doesn't want to.
Well, he's afraid they're going to kill him.
Yeah, and then he's such a great boyfriend that he attaches the case to her hand. And why she doesn't just take the case and start beating him to death with it. I'm like, they've only been dating for a week. This guy's clearly shady. He doesn't care about you. But okay.
She wasn't ready for murder yet. Give her 10 minutes.
She got there.
She gets there real quick.
And then it turns out it was super shady. And she meets a crime lord who decides to put some drugs in her belly. A dude gets mad at her. The dude decides he wants to feel up her chest. She's not into it. He gets mad, so he kicks her in the stomach a bunch, which releases the drugs into her system and then makes her a superhero. And she goes full Freddy Krueger, convulsing onto the wall and then the ceiling for some reason. And then pulls herself back down with the chain. It's a confusing origin story. And then after that, then it's just funsies. Then we're just funsies. She's turning into a super god person.
Yeah.
They keep counting down how much brain power she can use. They don't really establish new powers very clearly. They do ramp up, but also it seems like she could have done it beforehand. Whatever. She decides that she needs to get to Paris to meet up with a scientist,
Morgan
Freeman. And while she's doing that, she also decides she needs to keep this one Paris cop around for reasons. Because eventually he asks her why, and she just goes, to remind me after she kisses him. It was weird. He seems entirely unnecessary to me.
She keeps him grounded. He keeps her grounded.
I guess.
She wants a human around her. Remember being human.
Yeah, but I don't see why him. Boom, whatever. It could have just been Morgan Freeman.
He's the Anne of this movie, right?
Yeah, Morgan Freeman's too old. He's not going to go running around with her. She could have grabbed a roommate, but I don't think it really matters. Just finish the breakdown. We can actually talk about it.
And then she turns out she's the Matrix, and she makes herself into a thumb drive. And that's the end of the movie.
That's where the movie lost me the first time, was she turned herself into a thumb drive.
Into a glowy thumb drive that defies space and time. Yeah.
Yeah. That part like really kind of popped a bubble in the whole movie for me.
Yeah.
It didn't bother as much the second time, but I knew it was coming this time.
It's hokey. It's weird.
But the whole movie is hokey and weird.
The movie seemed like it had a lot more ideas than I had the time to deal with.
It's a short movie. It's 88 minutes, something like that. Like it's quick.
I
had enough time to watch another movie like right after because it was so short, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not done with movie tonight, so let's watch something else."
Yeah, like it's a quick little thing.
When I was watching this movie, I was just kind of like, I think Luc Besson wants to make a heady film, something kind of like Tree of Life. He has a lot of the intercuts with the past and humanity and space and stuff into the film, but then he has to fit this action movie in between that, and to like.
But it's also not much of an action movie.
It's not. No, it's not, because I don't think that's what he wanted to make. I think he wanted to make it more like heady psychological type thriller thing, and they're like, no, Luke. Everyone likes it when you shoot things.
He is good at shooting things.
Yeah, everyone likes it when you make action sequences. So it just felt like he wanted to make one thing, but he got the budget for another.
I mean, I guess that's possible. I don't know. I think he did a good enough job with what it was of just being this really kind of schlocky, cheesy, campy sci-fi movie.
I had fun with it.
Yeah.
When I was watching it, I'm like, I feel like he wanted to do more.
I mean, maybe that's just them selling it that hard to you.
Yeah, they sold it really hard as an action
are.
film when it came out. They really sold the actiony bits. And I remember
I'm not talking about like the marketing. I'm talking about the characters in the movie are selling how serious this all is.
Oh,
but there's no
yeah.
action in the movie almost.
No, very little action. Like there's action sequences, but she mostly just makes people fall down.
She doesn't fight anyone.
No.
She makes them fall down or they start floating. The most action is when she's driving through Paris. And I'm sitting there going, why don't you just make the car fly?
Oh yeah, guess you could.
You've established you can do all this other stuff. Just make the car fly.
Yeah, her powers are real wonky. Like they're both incredibly overreaching and way OP, and also not defined at all and kind of limited.
That's what I mean. Like I feel like they were limited on what they could do.
Yeah, it was really kind of weird. But
because when she makes those dude float and she does all the other stuff, I'm like, come on, just fly. You don't need to do all this other stuff to get to.
Just Neo around the place, man.
Yeah.
You're fine.
I mean, it kind of also seems like, for someone like Besson who wanted to do something heady, he was also kind of riffing it, like, oh, I want to do this now. I kind of want to do this now. Yeah, why don't we have her like throw like people up in the ceiling and have them float for a little bit? And a guy run into an invisible wall. Like, yeah, that sounds cool. We'll tie that in. Somewhere at the end.
That's the heady stuff, though. That's like the interesting powers. The guns are the boring part. The car chase is the boring part.
I like the car chase.
It just seemed unnecessary. Like I said, I wanted her to fly. To me, this is just like her just having a lark. Like, I could just make this car fly.
I mean, yeah, she does this kind of fly through the city, like driving insanely fast, just because she knows she's not going to hit anything. So she could probably just make it fly, but this is way more showy.
It is more showy.
Yeah. It's more fun. Tons of innocent people die, but that's throughout the entire movie. As soon as she, we're going to kind of move into ScarJo in this movie because it is kind of strange. Like, she plays the ditz party girl very well, but as soon as she gets these powers, any humanity in her is just, that's the first thing to go. And I thought that was kind of a, I don't want to say bad choice, but it was an odd choice.
She has a little bit of humanity. She gives her friend the prescription and be like, just eat organic.
No, but she goes full robo mode. Like, almost immediately. Like, even though she might care for people, like, she has no character anymore. She's just like the Terminator.
Yeah, to me it kind of deflated. Like it took me a little while to get back into the speed of the movie because it was kind of deflating. She was so emotive in the beginning and interesting to watch. Like she was like flirty, teasing, crying, like angry, like all sorts of acting going on, and then it's just like play robot now, like you do in these action movies. It's like, okay, we're kind of taking Scarlett Johansson like still face movie for a while. Like,
but to me, that's always one of the greatest problems with people's approach towards intelligence. Even like the Victorian age, the enlightened versus the romantic. If you're going to go to that war, the romantic was all the adventure and romance, and like in Frankenstein, the romantic one is the monster, and the enlightened one is Frankenstein himself. And all the emotions in the monster, but she's supposed to be all intelligence, which means, like in the most base way, like the more logical you are, the less emotions you have. I mean, it's a very cliche thing to do.
Yeah, and I think that's why I didn't like it, because you have somebody as talented as Scarlett Johansson. Like, why can't you just do like more of a blend? Like, we can end there. Like, get to the complete, I am all logic, I am full, what is it, Vulcan. I'll make a Star Trek reference.
Oh yeah, that's another cliche of it. Yeah.
I'm very proud of myself. I just pulled a Star Trek term out of my head.
Yeah, you did.
yeah.
Whoa.
And by going
that's
that
what I mean,
direction,
yeah.
there's nowhere else for her to go. Like you start her off at her 10% and she's robot, and then we still have the other 90% for her to go more robot. Like
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
they didn't give her a progression.
Yeah.
Yeah, and without that, then we kind of have that powers problem where, like, we don't really know when and how she gets these new powers or what they really are, which is fine. I kind of like the mystery of it. Like, I'm not sure if I would have rather had them explained, because that might have been a little too much. The vagueness of it kind of does make her a little more intimidating. But at the same time, like, it was just such, like, a rush and also kind of slow of just, like, she's going. She's got him now. Don't worry about it. It wasn't really... I don't want to say it wasn't well executed, because that's way meaner than I mean to be. It was just, there was no importance placed on it, and it was kind of weird.
No. So that's why it's kind of just a fun, dumb action film, and it's supposed to be like about high intelligence. It's just kind of fun and dumb.
Yeah.
They don't really delve into anything. They don't really explain anything. You don't need to necessarily. It's just, I don't know, there's, like you said, there's no steps other than flashcards.
Yeah.
We get flashcards, and that's really all we get.
And that almost feels like a studio note of like, there's no way to know when she's getting more progressed. Let's put it in there.
Yeah, and so even the flashcards, there's like nothing in between. Like from 20 to 100, she's not different.
No.
And they do the irises changing, which is again a cliche thing.
Yeah.
I've seen it a bunch of times. It's fun. It's amusing.
There was one part that was kind of interesting though, and I wish they had kind of done more of that thing. Is her body deterioration, like not being able to handle the drugs, like where she had that freak out in the airplane. Like that was interesting. That was an interesting adjustment to another phase, like her phasing around. I was like, hey, more of that could have shaken up this whole like thing from 20 to 100.
Yeah, I mean, just on that scene for a moment, because this has always kind of bothered me since the first time I saw it. So she explodes, right?
I don't know. I don't know if it's in her imagination, like that's how she's feeling, or if that's how it actually happened.
Yeah, because it was really kind of like, I've taken everything that's been happening so far as like she's seeing the reality of it. And then, so she exploded, but then she wakes up in a hospital. I'm like, wait.
Yeah,
What?
I don't know how they got her off the plane. He apparently put a lot of drugs in her for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know, was she already unconscious and he just thought he needed to put more drugs in her?
It's such a cool idea. Like, I was right there with John in the beginning of it. Like, this is a really awesome like thing I haven't seen before, and I really like them to expand on it. But then she pops and then wakes up totally solid, and then we never mention it again.
With her other hair back.
Yeah.
She had changed her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like we forgot, like we stopped caring that happened. Like, no, that's not going to be a thing anymore. Her like replenishing
never comes
stock
back.
never comes back. And meanwhile, I'm still asking like, hey, what about that? What about that cool thing? For at least another 10, 15 minutes in this movie, I'm like, wait, this? Or how did we get here? Like, that that gap is like, we needed that scene. That shouldn't have been a deleted scene between her popping and her waking up in the hospital, you know?
Yeah, like even just like a cutaway of the guy opening the door and just seeing unconscious Scarlett Johansson on the floor and going, hey, it's that girl that we were told to get. Like, anything. Beyond just, she just wakes up in the hospital.
I don't know.
Or am I just harping on it too much? Like, because that's the thing with the movie the second time through. I'm like, I think I just cared way too much about, like, the reality he was setting up. I'm like, no, there's a world, and there's rules in worlds, and you're not following anything.
There's no rules in this world.
Yeah, and I think it just bothered
it's
me.
limitless.
I mean, it could be... I mean, it could be some projection of like what we expect from Luc Besson to begin with, from his previous films, and just kind of what we expect going into this, instead of just being a lark, kind of a goofy cheeseball lark with a little bit of headiness, and like, as Morgan Freeman refers to it, we're going full sci-fi here, like silly sci-fi. It's like, yeah, it's just gonna go silly sci-fi. Like, we're kind of expecting something a little bit more smarter, I think, because of that, the way the way it starts.
Yeah. I feel like if they just chewed the scenery a little bit more, like we're like a few steps away from like a B movie.
I think it's a B movie.
I don't think it's there.
I think it's C.
I think it takes itself too seriously. Like, I mean, even if it's not taking itself that seriously, they're playing it too real. Like, it's just not. It just needed.
Depends on who you're focusing on, because the Chinese.
Yeah, he's a pretty big character, but he could be bigger.
I think
the only one who
very B movie-ish. Like,
the only one who felt B movie to me was the guy he worked with. The guy who's like, that's just how we deliver our drugs. That was the guy who I'm like,
oh, he's very B movie.
Yeah, he felt like Stewie from Family Guy grown up.
Yeah. No, and he never shows up again after that beginning part. And I'm just like, oh god, like this is he was a helpful signifier of how this movie was gonna go, and to lose him early just to not being around was kind of like, oh, we could have used that.
I thought it was going to be like a British operation when we meet more British people when we got into Europe, and then no, it's the same Asian people.
Yep.
Like, wait, why are you following them? This seems like a bad plan. What?
Yeah, like every time you start pulling out a thread, and there's so many threads, you're like, wait, this isn't a very good movie, and then you just kind of have to stop yourself. Like, no, it's not, but that's okay. Like that's why I'm here. Like, this is just escapism. Have fun.
Yeah. And I think that's what happened to me when I watched this movie. Like, as I was in the moment watching it, I was able to still have fun with it and still get into like, oh, cool, she's doing this now, or oh, cool. I just kind of had to dial back a little bit and ignore the threads. Like,
yeah,
there's a mode to watch this movie, and like seeing the threads pulling at them is not the way to watch this compared to other movies.
I had a lot of fun thinking about it as the beginning of The Matrix.
Oh yeah, like I was going a different way, but I understood what you meant because I was going more Skynet. Like, oh shit, they're making Skynet right now. You guys are all fucked.
I'm like, no, they're making The Matrix. She's everywhere. You're all going to become her batteries.
This is the action prequel to her.
According to Gabe Lewell, we're already there. So, did I say Lewell?
You just talked about his evil brother, his evil twin brother, Gabe Lewell.
Yeah. Anyhow, what I was going to say was, if when you take it too seriously, kind of like what John was saying, you start pulling on those threads, you kind of miss out on like some of the best stuff about this movie, and that's really, at least in my opinion, it really is Scarlett Johansson. And like, this is the first movie out of this month where I'm like, the reason that you watch this movie is for her. I say the other two movies we watched, she was in them. Like, she is this movie.
Yes.
Like, this movie, it totally relies on everything from her performance to how she drives scenes, like all of it. Like, she just drives the whole thing. And I feel like that it kind of goes to waste a little bit with how silly the movie gets. But
at the same time, she makes this
it's
movie
still
easy
clearly
to
there.
watch.
Like, she's still doing a great job with it.
Oh, yeah. I think she was having fun with this. I mean, from what I understand, Luc Besson's just a fun director to work with.
Yeah. She clearly clearly somebody she's having fun.
Yeah.
Like, I love it when she just walks in the operating room when she wants the bag of drugs out of her, and she just shoots the guy on the table. Like,
you were going to save him anyway.
Yeah, you can save him anyways. He was already fucked. I have a bag of drugs in me, and it's leaking.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most heartfelt moment of the entire movie is when she calls her mom.
Oh, yeah.
And the mom's like, oh my god, how much acid did she take?
What are you on?
Mom, I feel
Right.
everything.
Your milk in my mouth. Our daughter
Like, that's
is
nice, dear.
so
That's
high.
nice, dear.
My God.
Oh, that line. I forgot that line was in there. And I remember that stopping me the first time I saw it, too. I was just like, what?
Well, how does it taste?
Like a chai almost.
Oh. Why
You
chai?
ate too much pineapple, Mom.
Yeah.
Mom, don't have a roast beef sandwich when you're breastfeeding. Eh?
Yeah.
Help a baby out.
No more coffee for you, mama.
Really hung up on the weirdest line in this movie now.
Sorry. I mean, it was really a sweet moment.
It was. And kind of weird.
She delivered that line as straight-faced as you can.
Yeah.
That scene is really like if you can get through that scene, actually, you're ready for the whole movie because that scene has the whole like the CPH4, the pregnancy drug, the call to the mother, the taste of your milk thing, like all of it's in that scene. So like this scene is the good one to watch, and if you continue, you're good.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the close-up of the doctor's hands going in her abdomen because you could see her lacy white underwear. And lacy white underwear is a very sexualized thing.
Yep.
So having the shot
Oh,
of his
yeah.
hands going inside of her with that was just like, dude, please, ew.
Yuck.
Yeah, come on. You didn't need that there.
That's all I got is yuck. But the thing that I really like in this movie, specifically from Scarlett Johansson, was I loved, John kind of touched on it earlier, like just how much emoting she has to do in the beginning, from when when fucking Urine Greyjoy gives her the suitcase.
That's who that was.
That was Urine Greyjoy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That fucking guy.
I'd recognize that evil smile anywhere, that bastard.
He fucking ruined Game of Thrones. You fucking ruined Scarlett Johansson in this movie. I hate that guy.
He didn't ruin Game of Thrones.
He didn't help anything.
Yeah, he did not.
Fucking Game of Thrones.
Oh God.
We should rewatch Game of Thrones.
Should we?
Yes.
Can we
No.
stop before the end and just pretend it just ends? Like at
And then we could do a passion play in our living room about how we feel that Game of Thrones could have actually ended.
Perfect. Yeah.
Like
Can you live stream that so I can at least experience a better ending?
Oh no, the White Walkers are coming! Ah! Ah!
And Corin can go after the ice cubes and be a White Walker. Ice, ice, ice.
Yeah, that'd be better. Definitely been better than what we got. It's the worst fucking show.
I'm just gonna start grabbing wheels and breaking them all everywhere.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. What were we talking about?
Lucy.
Yeah, we were talking about her emoting in the beginning. and
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we go from the emoting in the beginning to the complete robot, and just the amount of just range she has throughout the entire movie, I thought was very impressive, especially for how kind of a silly movie it is.
Well, yeah, it's just the beginning is intense in terms of Scarlett Johansson's performance. She has to pull out the stops. Like she's got to cry. She's got to fear for her life. Like she sold a lot in that beginning.
Yeah.
That, like, I forgot how
she
good
did
it was.
seem
How
ditzy
good
to
she
me.
was in that beginning part. Just how, I don't know, how impactful it was.
Yeah, and to what Chewie was just about to say, or might have just said, I'm not sure how the edit shook out. But what Chewie was saying was a lot of times in the ads and like when people talk about it, they talk about how she was kind of an idiot in the beginning or kind of a ditz. And I never got that. I feel like Scarlett Johansson just wouldn't play that character.
She was just a party girl.
Yeah.
Like, being a party girl doesn't equate ditziness. And yes, she was blonde, but like the entire sequence when she's going in, I actually thought she played it really smart.
Yeah.
She tried to be covert, even though she was terrified. She didn't want to give her name.
Mm-hmm.
She knew that the more information she gave, the more deep in it she would be. And she asks questions while also saying, I don't know anything. I don't want to be here. I just want to give you what you want. Just get this off my hand and I'll leave. Like, she's trying to negotiate while still knowing she has nothing to negotiate with, pretty much.
Which just didn't feel like a stupid character.
No, it
like,
didn't.
Like, not at all. Like, and even when she's
in over her head for sure.
Well, yeah.
But she wasn't ditzy.
But even when she was talking like Urine Greyjoy and he's like, we need to do this thing tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to go out and have a good sexy time. Woohoo. She's like, I have to go study. Like, I'm here for school.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like a lot of people mischaracterized her when talking about this movie. And I'm like, she was a better character than that.
She was.
Yeah,
The guy
I mean, They
Sorry,
got kind of hung up on the blonde hair and the sipping the drink at the beginning. They forgot to watch the beginning after
And
that
the
point.
tight dress,
Yeah, in a very tight dress.
which was actually quite cool looking, I thought.
I feel like the only person who really acted like they're in the movie that they were in was Morgan Freeman. It feels like he's kind of smiling throughout everything, and then when you get to the end, when he actually has to like interact with Scarlett Johansson, he just has the best like duh face.
Yep.
Like, I'm the smartest man in the world, but I don't understand anything here, and it's just fantastic. Like it just felt like Morgan Freeman was just kind of laughing his way through the movie.
He was very good in this movie, and yes, he definitely knew which movie he was in.
Oh yeah,
He was. I liked it when she calls him, and the entire time they're talking. Well, not the entire time, but when she gets herself on his television screen, and he just holds the phone there.
yeah.
I don't think he needs to hold the phone there. He probably knows he doesn't need to hold the phone to his head anymore.
He's like,
He's just like,
I need something normal in my
yeah,
life.
I need to. I'm stunned. I need to hold on to this.
Oh yeah, and it was just, yeah. I love seeing dumb Morgan Freeman, and obviously he's not dumb. He's like the smartest man in the world. He's the only guy who guessed everything right about your brain expanding.
Yeah, like
But-
maybe dumbfounded Morgan Freeman.
Sure, yeah. And it was just, yeah, I had a ton of fun watching with that. But then you were bringing up the, what was his name?
Choi Min-sik, I think.
Choi Min-sik, if you use the K. I mean, he's not French, so you probably do.
Terrible at, I'm not even going to try. Because I would just butcher it. But no, he was great.
Mr. J. Mr. J.
Yeah, that'd be about where I'd be, but while legitimately trying. It would be very embarrassing. But the thing about him was, like, I just didn't think he was in it as much. Like, so Morgan Freeman left more of an impact on me. Like, he was great. But I really only remember him in the beginning being scary and impatient, and then at the end being just impatient and then
I
shot a
just
whole bunch.
remember him popping up in the movie constantly with his bandaged hands driving around, and I'm like, why are you in Europe? Why are you chasing her?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
Why did she let you live?
Cut your losses and just go be a crime lord. You're
Yeah,
ruining
perhaps
your entire
that's-
organization going after her.
Yeah, perhaps that's maybe that's the biggest thread. That's the hardest one not to pull on, because after she stabs his hands, like his threat level is 0. Like in the beginning, he's got that cool like mob boss, mafia or yakuza type boss thing going on, and he's scary, genuinely scary. And then she takes that away. Scarlett Johansson does, and the rest. Then afterwards, he's just a nuisance. And like I'm not even surprised that he didn't get to shoot her at the end and he dies, because he never feels like a threat. He just feels kind of as goofy as the rest of the movie, but more out of place. Even though I like him as an actor and I like him in this, it's just he's there.
It seemed unnecessary.
Yeah.
He seemed like, we need a big bad. Do we need a big bad? Yes, we do. This is an action movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think you do.
And I think all of that is why, no matter how much I agree with you that he's enjoying shooting the scenery, he's this larger than life character, he just didn't leave the impact on me, because I'm like, he's nothing in this.
Like, I feel the same way about him continually being involved, the same way you do with the flashcards of like, I think it's a studio note.
Yeah.
That you just needed a big bad, because the big bad should be the fact that her body's deteriorating, but that's a more complex topic. So
Yeah.
let's just throw in the physical bad guy.
Yeah. I think the only other reason that they were there is so that they could justify her continuing to be very violent. So she had guys to kill.
Does she ever kill anybody though? Everyone
She
dies
kills
of
tons
it.
of people. She shoots people.
When she's
She
getting
crashes how many cars? Like,
Well, yeah. But I don't really see her herself killing anyone, except in the beginning when she shoots like the 5 guys.
yeah. And the guy who's on the operating
Yeah,
table.
but that was because she only did that because he was already about to be dead.
Well, he was going to die. We don't know how soon he was going to die. She hit the fast forward button pretty hard.
Like, I just don't remember really seeing her, because she doesn't hunt down the guys with the drugs in their stomachs. She doesn't hurt any of the guys who are harvesting the drugs. She just makes them float. And then you never see her. All the other gun violence is with the cops.
Yeah, that's true. But we did just list a whole bunch of people she killed. She's not crazy, murder crazy, but she's definitely not afraid to kill you.
Yeah. I just didn't view her as overly violent. More like she is around violence.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is that even without, okay, so she's not murdering anyone. She still has conflict. Without those people there's no conflict. The whole movie.
I know.
I guess you could almost posit that as she ascends to this higher plane of like thought and existence and becomes less violent herself, the violence around her almost increases. Like, I guess that you could read it that way. Like, she's not murdering anybody at the end anymore, but she did kill people in the beginning, and then as she ascended out of that violence, the violence just had to keep happening around her to make up for it, or something. I don't know. You know, you could.
To me, that's just what I was saying of like, I feel like Luc Besson wanted to make a headier film, and everyone's like, well, that's cool, but can you make an action movie?
Yeah. Yeah, because there's probably something that could have been done if it was just police chasing after her. Like, maybe she did all the murdering in a very public place, and then after she got out of it, like, well, we need to catch that blonde woman who just murdered the shit out of that entire gang.
Yeah.
Like, she killed a gang. That's good, but she still murdered the fuck out of them, and we got footage of it. Like, there's ways around having this random villain hunting her for some strange reason.
Emotional vendetta. That's really the only reason for him to keep going after her.
And it just didn't really work that well.
No.
But that's another thing. When you start digging at it, it's like, oh, well, none of this really works that well. But if you just ignore it, it's like, okay, yeah, look at the bad guy. He's back. He's going to get her this time.
Back. Cool, yeah.
I had a lot of fun watching the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Is she going to get her?
No, he's about to shoot her in the head. I bet he's not going to. And whoop, there she goes.
There's no reason to ever feel like on edge during the entire film.
Yeah. The only thing I will say about Scarlett Johansson, beyond all the people she did murder in the beginning, she really fucks up that lab at the end of the movie. Like, my God.
She eats all their stuff.
She eats all their computers.
Yeah. And then dissolves her computer and turns into a thumb drive.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's nice.
Tastes like IBM.
And this is USB 2.0. What if I want USB 3.0? What if USB changes? Like, what?
It already has.
It already has. And, like, I'm stuck with this old school USB. I need to get fucking, like, a dongle so that I can actually convert this plug into this. Yeah. And now it's too slow. Lucy, you fucked me.
Yeah, no. Well, she gave them, like, USB 6, but it's like Apple USB 6.
Balls.
I think we've said everything we can about Lucy. Have we missed anything important? The action was good, but not that memorable because it was trying not to be action. ScarJo was fantastic. Right. It's the first movie we've had of hers where she had to really carry the whole thing.
She did carry the whole thing.
Her stunts were good.
Yeah.
She was great throughout.
And she wore that fabulous black bondage dress most of the time.
She did?
Yeah.
Bondage dress?
Yeah. That's what you call it, style of dress.
Oh. Cool. I had no idea.
Yeah. Where it's really tight and it has all like the strappy wraparound things.
Cool.
Yeah. I learned something new today.
I don't know the names of dresses. I thought they're all just dresses.
Nope.
Pretty dress 1. Pretty dress 2.
A-line, there's asymmetrical, there's maxi, there's teacup, there's bondage, there's stuff.
There's stuff dresses?
Empire
There's stuff dresses?
Dress.
Empire waist dress?
Yeah.
This
doesn't make any sense to me.
Peasant.
We need to do a spin-off podcast where we talk about dresses and then we learn about them because I'm actually weirdly interested.
Dress Show, hosted by Brian Dressel.
There's the Dressel dress. It's the dress that doesn't understand dresses. It's not very flattering.
It's covered in cake batter. It's a joke for like 15 people.
Those are the best kind of jokes. The ones where everyone who's listening to this is like, oh, what?
Wait, what? Look up my last name and type cake afterwards and you'll know what I'm talking about. Favorite parts? Or our favorite part? I think we might not all have the same one. But no, you know what? I'm going to go against the grain then. I love the car chase. I know it's totally useless. I know it's pointless. I get all of that. It probably would have been cooler with a flying car, but he already did that in Fifth Element, so he didn't need to do it again.
He just had a Harry Potter going, dude, what are you doing?
It's just Ron going,
fly.
What? Yeah, whatever. It was a fun car chase. I like that she was going super fast. It made me kind of want to watch Six Underground again. At least just the beginning. It was fun. I liked it. It was stupid, but it was cool. I liked how much the French police officer was like, "What? We're gonna die!" And she's just like, "Shut up, I got it." Like I almost wanted her to be texting at one point. It was fun.
Yeah. Not even using the steering wheel, just like somehow she's driving without it.
Driving with her knees, just like, you know, I'm the smartest thing on the planet, right?
Shut up a little bit.
I got pregnancy beans in my belly.
Oh man, this movie made made me think about so many other movies. Now I'm thinking about how when she's flying around in the chair, I'm like, it's like Contact.
Boo. 3 fucking hours and you find out the aliens are father.
Now there's a heady movie that could have used more action.
Could have used anything else. I quoted South Park. That's not my joke.
Maybe
I'm not
Luc
that mean.
Besson said, I want to kind of make a movie like Contact. And everyone's like,
Everyone
no, we're not
slapped
doing that
him.
again.
It was like fucking Airplane and a huge line of all
sure.
taking a shot at Luc Besson.
Sure, Luc Besson, you can make a movie like Contact, but we're going to throw in a South Korean mobster, okay?
And you only get to do 88 minutes. That's all you get. I'm not sitting here for 3 fucking hours again.
Well, hey, it turns out to a net win. We got Lucy, and Lucy at least is entertaining,
I totally derailed your favorite part.
You really did.
That's my favorite
Fucking
part.
Contact.
The Contact part. Where are we? Oh, we're in the Cretaceous period now. Cool.
Now we're in the Black Goo period.
Coming at me. Woo!
I mean, that was a very much a Contact part. You're right about that. God, that's a fucking stupid movie. You fell straight in the water, but the recording goes for hours. Where did you go? It's just static. It's the stupidest fucking movie.
Jeez.
Fuck Contact. You found my final cut.
Oh, wow. Ironically enough, the next month is going to be the Jodie Foster month.
I've always kind of thought about rewatching Contact, but I know that Brian won't let me.
The second I walk through, what the fuck? Let's stand a foot in front of the screen going, boo!
But Matthew McConaughey's the love interest.
Oh my God.
He plays a priest.
All right.
I forgot he played a fuck that movie. Chewie, what was your favorite part of fucking Lucy?
No, that's what I said.
Oh, just derailing the conversation about Contact was your favorite part of Lucy? Hey, John, what about you?
My favorite part was actually the thing with the roommate. As she's like hacking into the computer, she's like, "Here's a prescription. Your body's failing you. Go take care of yourself."
Eat organic.
Eat
Yeah, eat organic.
Okay.
And just like the whole setup of the scene where the friend is like, "Hey, what? How is it?" It's like, "My parents are dead." And like, "Oh, or no, my boyfriend's dead." Like, oh, that's nice.
crazy.
And then so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I enjoyed it. I hate this next part because I know what Chewie's going to say. But it's time for double features. I have a guess what Chewie's double feature will be. I'm hoping it won't be.
It's going to be a quadruple feature.
Quadruple feature.
4 movies.
Oh
Lucy,
boy.
with The Matrix,
Of course.
Tree of Life, and Contact.
That's a bad day. This is just a bad day.
That's a mostly good day except for Contact.
It's like Luc Besson watched those 3 movies and decided to make the movie Lucy.
Ugh. I think I'd rather get COVID.
Watch Contact. The Matrix is in there.
I know the Matrix
And
is in
Tree
there,
of Life.
and I like Lucy, but I'm not. Fuck all of that, man. God, you chose 2 3-hour movies that are boring as hell. Actually, no, isn't Tree of Life only like 90 minutes, but it feels like forever?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking hate that movie too. I might have 2 final cuts.
So it's like the final cut for you.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my God. What would I pair Lucy with? I would pair Lucy with. I'm gonna go for the movie that I think this one wishes it was a little bit. An Ex Machina. So I'd start with Lucy because it'd be like the fun kind of like, all right, I'm kind of in the mood for some like deep sci-fi thing after that. Like I kind of dipped my toe in the water and had a good time and splashed around a little bit. Now let's see where this can go. So you go from Lucy to Ex Machina. I think it'd be a good double feature. Far better than Chewie's Nightmare Day.
And the action in your movie is much more motivated.
Oh yeah, very little action, but when it happens, oh boy, he fucking deserved it. Poe Dameron.
And I never remember his name.
Hux.
Hux.
John, what about you?
Well, Chewie already mentioned the more serious choice for me, which was Tree of Life in this, because this movie is kind of like what if Luc Besson did Tree of Life, especially in the beginning. So, like, I would play that, like, have it be a screening of Tree of Life with a mystery movie at the end of it, and you get treated to Lucy at the end. It's like a weird palate cleanse.
They use some of the same B-roll.
Yeah, they probably did.
I mean,
Hey, buddy, can I borrow some B-roll?
Everything in Tree of Life is shot better than most movies. It's the only thing worth seeing in that movie.
It's a
is
beautiful
that
movie.
cinematography is like impeccable
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
worst fucking movie.
But like having that be a double feature with Tree of Life, I think would be a great whiplash of genre and mood. Just something like, oh, we're getting really contemplative and really introspective, and suddenly, oh shit, Scarlett Johansson turns into a computer or turns into the internet. Like,
Yeah, no, I feel that one. Yeah, I like it. That's. I wasn't on board because Tree of Life is involved, but if I can get past that, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
but I'd pay to go see Chewie's version, the marathon of movies
That's
are all.
it's too fucking.
I just don't know if you watch Lucy first or last.
Have
What-
Lucy be the reward.
So it's The Matrix,
Tree of Life,
Tree of Life,
and Contact.
Yeah, because Contact is like the dark tea
Lucy.
time of the soul, where you're like, hey, could it get any worse than Contact?
Like maybe
No, it's actually gonna get better.
Lucy is what they're making contact with.
No. So here's what you do. You
Contact.
start with Contact, so if people are smart, they can skip the first movie. And then you go from Contact into, I'd say Lucy, and then go Lucy into Tree of Life, and then Tree of Life into The Matrix. Because you deserve something after sitting through Tree of Life.
It's The Matrix.
That's The Matrix. It's an awesome movie. That's a good day. You can skip Contact, just fuck that noise. And then you have 3 movies that would pair together horribly, but in a very interesting way. I'm into it. As long as you don't have to watch fucking Contact.
Fucking Contact.
Although I don't know, I think having
Oh,
Lucy at the
just
end
making
with
me
Contact
wanna rewatch
before is like
Contact
a
so
good
bad.
reward.
I haven't seen Contact since I saw it in theaters. I never rewatched it.
My mom and I rented that one, and my dad was, I think he was at a basketball game or something that night, so we watched it. My sister left halfway through because she was bored. My mom and I finished it, and my mom, I don't remember exactly how she phrased it, but it was something along the lines of, well, some movies just aren't very good.
Jeez.
She was right. So, smart woman my mother was. Contact sucked. Plugs!
Contact.
A little movie called Contact. No, just kidding.
I plug the movie Contact. You should definitely check it out.
Check it out.
Corona Cartoons. We have been having a fucking blast at Corona Cartoons. We just did an episode this past Monday on an episode of Doug and an episode of Angry Beavers. Well, kind of an episode of Angry Beavers. We more so took 2 of since Angry Beavers were only the 10-minute cartoons that are jammed into one episode. We just took 2 of those and made our own one episode. And one of the 2 is the wrong episode. But we talk about that too, and we have a good time with it. And it was a very fun conversation that we kind of move around from the Nicktoons and normal cartoons and just 90s TV in general. Had a really fun conversation with my friend Jeff Frumitz from New York, and it was a really, really good episode. Highly recommend you checking it out. And then this upcoming Monday, I'm talking with Ray Deslich about Who Framed Roger Rabbit, one of the best fucking movies
Was
ever
it Mickey Mouse?
made. It probably was Mickey Mouse. Fucking Disney, man. They ruin everything. And that's everything for Corona Cartoons. John, what are you plugging?
Plug in Demon Days, the actual play podcast we've been doing for a little while now, and we're having a great time over there, and we're making plans and figuring out how to adjust to the pandemic, and we've got something in mind. We're gonna keep going, but it'll maybe a little different in terms of just we're all recording from home and figuring out our setups. But yeah, we're still having fun.
Sounds good. Chewy?
Watch Superstore.
It's all on Hulu.
Yeah, it's all on Hulu, the whole thing. Because we weren't able to shoot other stuff.
You had, in my opinion, the best sight gag of any of your random setups in this season.
Yes.
And
when we were setting it up, we were all like, is this actually going to get shot? No, this will probably get edited out. But it happened.
It did. It's related to Mardi Gras. That's all I'll say. You should watch the episode.
It felt, I guess it looked more innocent on camera than it did in person.
That says something.
Yeah.
Given what they were doing, that says something. It's probably because you didn't have the blurred parts.
Yeah.
That's enough of a tease, right? To make people want to watch it. It was a really good episode. I think that's everything. I think we've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
We did it.
Lucy's in the sky.
Lucy is in the sky. She's done. Next week.
Good Gary Busey.
Whoo boy. Next week we're going for a totally different change of pace. Finally watching Under the Skin. Yeah. Very, very fun. I look forward to watching it again.
Contact.
No. Fuck. No. No. No.
We have to rent Contact everywhere. It's $4.
No.
We could watch it with the subscription to Sling TV.
No.
It's not available on iTunes.